Did you know that it was Daniel Goleman who popularized the term emotional intelligence? That was when he wrote his book in 1995 that carried the same name. Today we're going to talk about another important leadership skill. It's called emotional intelligence, and it's the ability to manage your emotions, not only of yourself, but also to understand and react to those of others. It helps you build strong relationships and gives you the ability to lead with empathy. But how do we as leaders develop emotional intelligence? First, you gotta practice self-awareness. This means being aware of your own emotions, strengths, and weaknesses. By understanding yourself better, you can manage your emotions better and understand those around you better as well. A person with emotional self-awareness is also better at receiving feedback or continuous feedback and focusing on their own learning compared to those who lack emotional self-awareness. You can practice emotional self-awareness by being curious about who you are. One of my favorite ways of getting to know me better is actually going in and doing a personality test. I can recommend 16personalities.com. One, because it's free, and also because it's quite striking how much information you will get out of it without having to pay a single cent. But remember, please answer the questions truthfully, because that way you will get the best results. Another way is that you ask others. Let them tell you what your strengths and opportunities are. Obviously, this also means that the people you ask, you have to be able to trust them or have a relationship foundation already built. What's important in this exercise is that you do not become defensive about the things that you hear that you may not like. So let your guard down and listen to others. One of my favorite items here is try to look at yourself and hear yourself. You can look at yourself in the mirror, or you can record yourself. Try to get to know yourself a little bit better. Another way is that you can also keep track of what triggers both positive and negative emotions within you. So during the day, if you feel that the emotional monster is creeping up in you, write it down. Figure out, why were you happy? Or why did you maybe get frustrated or angry? That way you can find your own trigger points and start managing them better. Lastly, on self-awareness, try to take a third-person view of yourself. Think about if it was another person that came to you with some challenges around self-awareness. How would you guide them as a leader? What would be the advice that you would give the person if they were angry at someone else? The second point is that you need to practice empathy as a leader. This means understanding the feelings and emotions of others, putting yourself in their shoes. By doing so, you can build stronger and more effective relationships. Exercises that you can successfully do here to practice is listen more than you speak. Remember, 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen twice as much. Try to ask questions sensitively and be aware of your own biases. Yes, we all have biases, including you as well as I. But by being aware of them, that's the first step in reducing your biases. So in your next one-to-one with your team member or your leader, spend less time talking and more time listening. And when you talk, try to ask questions. The power of observation is also really strong here. So try and observe in social gatherings, team meetings, how others react to the words that are being said or the presentations that you are listening to, because you can pick up on emotional intelligence cues by just watching others. The third point is practice motivation. People with high emotional intelligence is typically driven by inner ambitions. They also are very resilient when faced with setbacks. And they are not so influenced by the outside world or what others feel that they need to achieve. On the inner ambitions is also that typically motivation doesn't come from prestige or money. Practicing this one is not so straightforward. Figuring out what actually motivates you can be a long and daunting exercise. But I encourage you to start today. Figure out, what do you enjoy and what do you not enjoy? You can do this by writing down in a notebook things you like about the job, things you don't like about the job. But focus on the tasks. Don't focus on outside things. focus on what you are actually doing. Through this exercise, you can learn what it is that you actually enjoy and what you don't enjoy. Find out what motivates you. Also, try and make achievable goals, smaller goals. Even though you're being given a big goal, try to cut it down into smaller milestones. Smaller goals can be helpful to you because it keeps the momentum going. Because you as an individual will see that you achieve smaller goals continuously. In order to find inner motivation, it is also important that you practice gratitude. I actually have an entire episode dedicated focused on gratitude and finding your own happiness, which I will post a link in the description below, or you can see a link up here that you can watch afterwards. The fourth element in gaining emotional intelligence is to improve your social skills. Why do I say social skills? Because emotional intelligence is about understanding emotions of others, not just yourself. It is also cueing into the needs of others and being able to adjust your behavior accordingly. By understanding the emotions and needs of your team, you can also become a more effective leader. It is really all about your interactions with others. So, when you practice being around other people, you actually practice your emotional intelligence at the same time. By practicing being around other people more often, you enhance and improve your own emotional intelligence. So go out and interact with people. No, not on TikTok or Instagram. You actually have to physically go out and meet people, interact with them, and observe them. So you practice your social capabilities. You can do this in the office, at school, or when you are attending hobbies outside. So go out and get to know people, ask questions, and observe their reactions. Finally, practice self-regulation. A person with high emotional intelligence can practice restraint and calm their emotions in situations so they don't react negatively to what's being thrust upon them. But how do you become more calm when things don't go your way? A couple of exercises here includes meditation, engaging in positive self-talk. That means that you actually give yourself compliments. Give yourself a pat on the back. Make sure that you tell yourself that you're good enough, that you've done a good job, and that you've done everything that you could to achieve what you're trying to achieve. The times where we are most struggling with self-restraint is actually when we're in a bad mood. So try and focus on being positive. So make sure you take care of yourself. That includes exercise. And try and obtain positivity from those around you. Connect with generally positive people, because that can help you become more positive as well. Emotional intelligence is another important tool in our leadership toolbox. By following these simple practical steps, you can improve your self-awareness, empathy, motivation, social awareness, and self-regulation. So what are you waiting for? Go out there and lead with emotional intelligence so you can make your team members a better version of themselves, while also working on improving you. If you want to learn more about another critical leadership skill that will make you successful as a leader, check out this video right here. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Glenn Berkelev. This is Glihago. I will see you in the next video.